Who would stop a father carrying the weight of a hero's final journey? Who could look into the eyes of a man who's seen war, loss, and love, and tell him, you can't go? If you're hearing this right now, don't scroll away. Because by the end, you'll understand why this single dad veteran became a symbol of honor, love, and unbreakable promise. And if this story moves you even a little, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and let's honor the ones who never made it home, together. It was 4:30 a.m. when Luke Tanner woke to the sound of his daughter, Emily, breathing softly beside him. He hadn't slept much. The uniform folded neatly on the chair across the room stared back at him, heavy with memories. Today wasn't just another flight. Today, he was escorting a fallen soldier, a young man named Private Ryan Cole, home to his family. Luke had promised Ryan's mother at the funeral, "I'll bring your boy home myself." For Luke, this wasn't duty. It was something deeper, something sacred. Luke, a decorated Army veteran, had buried too many brothers. He knew the silence of the battlefield after the smoke cleared, and he knew the silence of a mother's tears. And now, as a single dad, every mission carried an extra layer of meaning, because his little girl, Emily, was watching. She was only 8, but she'd already learned that her dad's heart was both a warrior's and a healer's. The morning was quiet, cold. Luke put on his uniform, brushed a hand across the faded American flag patch, and whispered, "Let's bring him home." Emily stirred. "Daddy, you're going to be okay?" she asked, rubbing her eyes. Luke knelt, holding her tiny hands. "Yeah, baby. Sometimes, being strong means saying goodbye for someone else." She nodded, as if understanding more than her age allowed. At the airport, Luke walked in carrying the sealed flag-draped urn. His orders were clear. He was the official escort. But when he reached the gate, the airline agent frowned. "Sir, we can't allow that on board without clearance from our supervisor." Luke straightened, his eyes steady but calm. "Ma'am, I am the clearance. This is a soldier's final flight. I'm his escort." The woman shook her head. "Rules are rules. I'm sorry." For a moment, time froze. People in line glanced over, curious. Luke's grip on the urn tightened. He took a deep breath, fighting the tremor in his voice. "Ma'am, that man in there, he fought for those rules. He bled for strangers. He never made it home. And now, you're telling me, he doesn't have a seat." A hush spread across the gate. The agent shifted uncomfortably. "Sir, I understand, but..." A deep voice from behind interrupted. "No, you don't understand." A pilot stepped forward, Captain Miller, his jaw tight, eyes focused on Luke. "You let him through. That soldier's not flying cargo. He's flying first class, with his escort." The gate agent hesitated, then nodded. "Why yes, sir." Luke blinked, his throat thick. The captain gave him a firm nod. "Welcome aboard, Sergeant. You're not doing this alone." Word spread fast. As Luke walked down the jet bridge, passengers stood aside, removing hats, bowing heads. One woman whispered, "God bless you." Another man saluted. Even a child reached out a hand, placing a small drawing of a flag in Luke's palm. Inside the plane, Luke settled into his seat, placing the urn beside him with gentle care. The flight attendant knelt, whispering, "Sir, would you like some water?" "No, thank you. But, if you don't mind, when we land, I'd like to stand with him when they take him off the plane." "Of course," she said softly. "We'll all stand." The flight was silent, reverent. No laughter, no chatter. Just a quiet respect that wrapped around the cabin like a prayer. Luke stared out the window, his mind drifting. Back to Ryan, his smile, his fear, his courage. Ryan had been just 19, fresh out of high school, with dreams of seeing the world. He'd saved Luke's life in a firefight overseas. And now, Luke was bringing him home. When the wheels touched down, the captain's voice came over the intercom, thick with emotion. "Ladies and gentlemen, we have a hero on board. We ask that you remain seated as we honor the escort and the fallen soldier. Thank you for your respect." The entire plane fell silent. As the doors opened, the honor guard waited outside, flags at half-mast. Luke stood tall, cradling the urn. He stepped off the plane, tears burning his eyes, as rows of soldiers saluted in the cool morning air. Ryan's mother stood at the bottom of the stairs, clutching a framed photo. When Luke reached her, he handed over the urn, his voice breaking. "Ma'am, he's home." She collapsed into his arms, sobbing, "Thank you. Thank you for not leaving him alone. Luke held her close, whispering, he was never alone. Not once. News cameras caught the scene, but for Luke, it wasn't about attention. It was about a promise kept. Later, he walked Emily through the small cemetery, where Ryan was laid to rest. She looked up and asked, Daddy, why do you do it? Why do you carry them home? Luke smiled through tears. Because someday, when I can't make it home, I hope someone will carry me too. Emily wrapped her arms around him. I will, Daddy. And in that moment, Luke realized something powerful, that the cycle of honor doesn't end with the soldiers. It lives on in the hearts of their children, their families, and every stranger who pauses to say thank you. So, if you're still here, listening, remember Luke, remember Ryan, and remember every man and woman who never made it back. Honor isn't just a word. It's a choice, a promise, a legacy.